Today, I'd like to share with you a story from the time of the Buddha. The story contains miracles, distant worlds, and scenes that seem unbelievable. It sounds wonderful on the surface, but the truly important part is not these miraculous events. What really matters is a principle we must not misunderstand. Enlightenment is the awakening of the mind. It is wisdom seeing clearly the truth of life. It does not come from miracles, and it does not come from gaining special abilities. A person may have supernatural powers, yet not be awakened at all. And someone who is truly awakened may not have even the slightest supernatural ability. The two are completely different. Supernatural powers are just tools, temporary abilities that arise and disappear. They come and go. They are not the essence of liberation. Wisdom is what truly frees us from suffering. That is why we must never confuse the two. The story begins like this. One day, the Buddha was staying with 500 monks at a Navatapta lake. The Buddha saw that these monks were secretly looking down on Mahamudgalyayana, thinking he was nothing special. The Buddha understood that as long as someone carries arrogance or contempt in their mind, their practice will be obstructed. Over time, such a person will not only fail to see themselves clearly, but also fail to see the true nature of life and the universe. So the Buddha wanted to wake them up, soften their hearts, and help them truly enter the path of practice. So the Buddha said to Mahamudgalyayana, "Show your spiritual power so that they will stop looking down on you." After bowing to the Buddha, Maudgalyayana disappeared right before everyone's eyes and in an instant arrived in a faraway world in the east. The Buddha of that world was called Radiant Light Tathagata. The beings there had huge bodies, and when they saw Maudgalyayana, they thought he was like a tiny insect. They even brought him to Radiant Light Buddha for a look. Radiant Light Buddha told them, "Do not be mistaken. He is a disciple of Shakyamuni Buddha, foremost in spiritual powers." With Radiant Light Buddha's permission, Maudgalyayana displayed his abilities, one foot on Mount Sumeru, the other on the Brahma realm, while speaking verses reminding everyone not to be lazy in their practice, to be mindful, and not to be dragged around by their afflictions. The monks of that world saw this and immediately let go of their contempt. They were now willing to listen to the Dharma. Maudgalyayana then brought those 500 monks back to the Buddha's Jetavana Grove. When the monks there witnessed such extraordinary spiritual power, whatever arrogance they still held naturally dissolved. Their hearts softened, and they were ready to listen to the teachings. Seeing that the timing was perfect, the Buddha began to speak. The Buddha explained that this body of ours is not a solid, unchanging self. It is made up of many different conditions coming together. Earth, water, fire, wind, space, and consciousness gather, and that is how the body appears. With the body, we have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch, and also the ability to think. Because of these functions, we are able to see, hear, smell, taste, feel, and think. The Buddha said that once we understand these are all conditioned and temporary, the mind stops clinging. When we do not cling, the mind naturally relaxes. When the mind relaxes, our afflictions loosen. As afflictions loosen, we naturally move closer to freedom from suffering. After hearing the Buddha's teaching, the 500 monks suddenly understood everything that previously confused them. What they could not figure out before now became clear. They did not suddenly gain strength or acquire some mystical power. Rather, their hearts opened, they understood, and they saw clearly. This is awakening. Awakening does not mean something outside has changed. It means something inside has become clear and bright. This is why we must understand that enlightenment comes from wisdom, not supernatural powers. Spiritual powers are only tools, helpful in practice, but not the essence of liberation. They arise and disappear, but wisdom, once it appears, can truly lead us to freedom. A person without awakening may still have supernatural abilities, but a truly awakened person, even without any powers at all, is completely liberated.